Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damon yet again, and this time I know we're at the end of the Rebooking WrestleMania into two nights journey, and I was surprised how much inspiration I had, creative juice were flowing. So I was really surprised in this. And now we're going to do WrestleMania 42, which is this year's WrestleMania. It's like, wow, the time and effort go by fast. So without further ado, I thought this WrestleMania was pretty good. It was a much improved than last year, but there are so many baffling decisions. For example, Io Sky or Asuka not having a match at WrestleMania, Carmelo Hayes not being on the card, Royce Keys, The Miz. The Miz had a segment, at least that, as well as Kit Wilson, but they didn't get a match. And I felt like they should have got. So there's things I would correct about WrestleMania. And as always, I feel like having Tiffany, the women's US champion, not being on a card again 2 WrestleManias in a row says a little. I think it's the least prestigious title there is currently in WWE, and I want to rectify this. And if you're going to do this, then just unify it with the women's IC title and just be done with it. Have the women's IC champion go float over on both brands at this point, if you're going to do that. But I digress. Here, I would do a WrestleMania 42 card that takes consideration of everybody in the roster, and basically you can still have 16 matches across 2 nights, 8 matches a night. It's 4 hours, 4 hours and a half per night. So there's no excuse, sponsors or not, to not have this. So what will be, first of all, the Hall of Fame class. Rather than having Stephanie takes needless the time of everybody else, I will basically make sure that Stephanie's on WrestleMania 41 with Triple H. So basically have the couple induct themselves, have their basically self-flagellating speech on night one, on 41, and at 42, have AJ Styles main event on his own, the Hall of Fame. And yeah, there will also be Genichiro Tenryu will be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I would have basically the Mighty Hercules. Should have been like 40 years after his WrestleMania debut, be inducted in the Hall of Fame. You would have, of course, Demolition. You have Bad News Brown, a proper induction. I had Psycho Sid basically in 2012 being inducted. I would have Tony Gurria, which is, I know Steve Richards likes to make jokes about him, and it's true. I don't know, I haven't worked under Tony Gurria, but he's the first ever 5-time WB Tag Team Champion, and I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame. Like, why do you not rectify that? And yeah, and as far as the female inductee, they would have two. You would have, first of all, Candice Michelle, and you also have the Ninth Wonder World China. I know she was inducted in 2019, but it was a group induction. Let's have a proper individual induction for China. At least, because also this, I've noticed it's been like 10 years since she passed away. So what a better way to remember, to honor her memory than actually have a proper induction then. So that's the Hall of Fame class. Now, AJ Styles kind of retired at Royal Rumble 2006, 2026, literally nearly 10 years down to the day of the event of his WWE debut. And he would still be retired, but we'd have him one more match in WWE on that night. Just one more. I knew he was going to retire in 2016, 2026 anyway. You wouldn't have a retirement tour, just would have one more match. But WrestleMania 41, I would start it the same way they did. Their opener was pretty damn good, a pretty good opener. I would have LA Knight team up with the Usos against Austin Theory, Logan Paul, the World Tag Champion, and ISO Speed. You can even have it basically be for a 6-man tag match for the World Tag Team title match. It doesn't matter. The same result as in real life. LA Knight pins. You could basically be pinning was Austin Theory there, and ISO Speed turns face afterwards. Same thing. So we start off with this. The number 2 match will be the 41-man Andrew Giant Battle Royal, and Royce Key will not be part of it because I have him later on that night. I would have El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, win that match instead. And he would choose to be added to the IC title match on night 2. So that's far as concerned. It'd be like basically a battle royal, would be like 8-9 minutes. That's fine. So you have time for sponsors because the first match and this one will be basically around together will be like 24 minutes. So that's fine. Yes, bouncers. The third match of the night will be AJ Styles returning for one more night against Gunter. And I'm not sure if in this case, knowing basically, I know he retired AJ Styles, he basically did already there. But here's a problem with Gunter. Now they're booking him basically, oh, he's invincible, and basically, what, he's going to be W champion? No, he's going to be world champion? No, but he can't afford a loss. And I would make sure AJ Styles goes out by pinning him, but not with a Styles clash. He wouldn't basically beat him. He would just basically roll him up. Like, you could have him basically rolling him up, like Bulldog rolled up Bret Hart at SummerSlam 1992, and it doesn't hurt Gunter at all. And after the match, Gunter retrieves his heat by attacking and ambushing AJ Styles, and he looks to basically injure AJ Styles until the two people he retired, Goldberg and John Cena, come to Gunter's help. Gunter received a spear from Goldberg. He received an AA from John Cena, and maybe a Pele kick from AJ Styles. Doesn't receive the full Styles Clash. I will receive in the match, and he would kick out the Styles Clash in the match. But still, like, AJ Styles retired with Goldberg and John Cena like lifting him up, raising his hand, and that's it. That's his retirement. And Gunter is not basically like, he's not laid on the mat. He's just like holding his back there. It's like and yelling, like basically even after receiving the spear and the AA and the belly kick, he just runs up the ring and basically still trends. Like basically he still goes to the ring and goes to assault Goldberg, Cena, and Styles. But to protect him, tons of referee and security guards prevent Gunter from going in. So basically, it's establishing Gunter could still go. He's not out. He's not basically cowering. He still wants to go face up against AJ Styles, but he's prevented to. So AJ still retires. And later on that night, the Hall of Fame class is inducted. So AJ does retire like this. Fourth match of the night, we have the women's tag title match, and it will be. I was tempted to put in like Michin and B-Fab, but knowing they're gonna be there next night doesn't matter. So yeah, I would have it be the exact same way that happens in real life. Have Paige and the Bellas win the women's tag titles. That was a great moment. Why not? Why ruin it? The fifth night of the match, fifth match of the night. Sorry, what a fail on my part. Will be for the women's IC title match. For the women's IC title, you got AJ Lee defending against Becky Lynch, against Io Sky, against Asuka. And you would have the Kairi Sane interfere in that match, trying basically this. And, you could have Kairi Sane finally, like, as Asuka seems to, let's say, have Becky Lynch in the Asuka lock, Kairi Sane finally turns on Asuka. But to protect Asuka there, so she has the Asuka lock on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch about to tap, and Kairi Sane basically distracts the referee for this not to happen. So Io Sky delivers her over the moon, the Genius of Sky moonsault, wherever the moonsault there, on Asuka to finally break the Asuka lock, and it would lead to basically both Asuka both Kairi Sane and Io Sky to assault Asuka on the outside the ring. So all of them are taken off the equation. That leads to Becky Lynch cheating, deliver the Manhandle Slam to AJ Lee to win the women's IC title. So you still have Io Sky and Asuka. You still propel them for Backlash for their singles match, and that leads to Asuka having an hiatus. But you don't make it the focus of the match, but you still give Io Sky a great proper match at WrestleMania, great focus on that storyline, but it's not going to be resolved that night. It's more about Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, and I think that's fine. So yeah, that would be the fifth match of the night. Sixth match of the night would be Seth Rollins against Braun Breaker. And controversially enough, I would have Seth Rollins win. And it's established that Braun Breaker had his injury, basically, blah, 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 so he's not 100%. So next month, Braun Breaker is 100% and does beat Seth Rollins in a rematch at Backlash, which leads up to basically a rubber match. Will be the steel cage match that would have a night champion. So yeah, that would be a match of 12 minutes. And you can have like the Vision tries to run in. This is when Street Profits do their return and they help like Seth Rollins win the match. Seventh match of the night, you have Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Knowing the injuries that both of them had, I would have still have it be not a 6 minute but 8 minute match. And yes, Liv Morgan would have the same entrance team, which I don't mind. I don't mind it. I don't see why people are crapping on team songs. Like people are crapping on Def Rebel team songs, but this, and yet you have an original team song that does feel like a team song that's proper, and people complain about it. This is basically the 2020s version of Shampoo's Trouble. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Same thing. I mean, she just says trouble, trouble, that's me. It's the same thing with basically an interlude that seemed like Taylor Swift like. Everything else is a 90s song and it fits her character. And if so, why not? I have the same thing. I have Liv Morgan kind of that Stephanie Becker kind of look on to basically looks like she's gonna win the match, but the interference of Judgment Day's too much, and Liv Morgan wins the title with two oblivions. And the main event of night one would have you have Drew McIntyre defending against Cody Rhodes, against Randy Orton, against Jacob Fatu. And this is where Cody regains his title. Why not? And he does so by pinning Drew McIntyre, who's going to take a hiatus. I felt like at this point, knowing like Drew McIntyre won the world title, like in real life, you won it once at WrestleMania 40 for not even 5 minutes, and then gets his back finally after so many years, gets the W title back, and only holds it for like 6 weeks. I thought it was a waste of Drew. I know title don't always make the wrestler to make the man, but it's like in this case, he deserved better for a longer period of time. You don't have Pat McAfee interfere this. He doesn't interfere at all. Jelly Roll is not involved in this. You can have Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll make appearance on that show, but you know what? Not really involved in any match. So that's night one of WrestleMania. I thought would be pretty good for WrestleMania 42. Night two would begin with the Intercontinental Ladder match with Penta defending against Kofi Kingston. As I said, Kofi deserves a WrestleMania match or deserves a WrestleMania match for every year he's still there. You know? Put him there. I'm not going to make him win despite me having him win the World Heavyweight title from Jey Uso in 2025. So and afterwards, you could have like Kofi Kingston being defeated by you could still have a Gunter win the world title from Jey and Kofi in a triple threat match, and then Gunter lose the title to CM Punk. The same thing as in real life. But for that scenario, I would have basically Kofi still win one world title, the one title he didn't get. And he still is in single competition. Like the New Day, since they lost the tag titles, they still basically are a tag team, but they still like venture in single competition. Knowing Xavier Woods was kind of injured at the time, what better reason for Kofi to be in a singles match at WrestleMania? You have Kofi, not with Grayson Waller, you have Kofi in the IC title match. You have Chad Gable as El Grande Americano. You have the 42-man Under the Giant Battle Royal winner, the WrestleMania 42 Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner, say it 5 times quick. Vic Kaiser, aka the new El Grande Americano match. And you also have Javon Evans. You have Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, JD McDonough, and Rusev. And in real life, you have Penta win. What's the point of taking out the title from him? It works very well. Second match of the night, Lesnar versus Femi. Same as real life, Femi wins. But maybe not have Lesnar seem like he's going to retire. If you're not going to pull the trigger on this, don't do that. Then you could have the U.S. title match with Sami Zayn defend against Carmelo Hayes against Trick Williams. And Carmelo Hayes seems to be the babyface. Sami Zayn seems to be like the tweener heel, and Trick Williams seems to be the actual full-blown heel who's cheered like a face. And if you want to basically do a double turn, I still maintain you can have Sami Zayn win. Sami Zayn basically, and he wins due to, you really want to show basically how annoying he is, Lil Yachty turns against Trick Williams. You take away his annoying manager so that basically from now on Trick Williams on his own, he doesn't need basically somebody to speak for him. He's damn good on the mic. And he's good in the ring, but I think Lil Yachty actually holds him down and makes him the annoying babyface, which would just be a rock-like babyface if you take this away. And he wins, basically, Sami Zayn doesn't get to pin Trick Williams. He pins Carmelo Hayes in this case to retain the U.S. title. So, in the fourth match of the night, you have Jade Cargill defending against Rhea Ripley. Like in real life, Rhea Ripley wins the title there. I love the counter at the end. I'm not going to change it for anything. Then in fifth match of the night, something at SmackDown, but I'd rather have it here. For the women's. So, sorry, I'm just looking at this. For the women's U.S. title, you could have Julia defending against Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffany Stratton, basically, you have Kiana James going to be somebody else in Julia's corner. But in corner of Tiffany Stratton, you would have Jordan Grace and Chelsea Green. And it leads to basically everybody interference on the outside, basically nullifying their own impact. And like Tiffany straight up pins Julia. Then, what's basically this? In the sixth match of the night, you would have for the WWE Tag Titles, you have Damian Priest and R-Truth defending against Motor City Machine Guns, who were established #1 contenders against the MFTs against the Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six are taken out by the MFTs. Basically, it would lead to the MFTs are basically afterwards received the skull and crossbone from Motor City Machine Guns. But Damian Priest delivers basically Damian Priest and R-Truth deliver their double team finisher on Alex Shalape and pin him to retain tag titles. Then you would have, sorry, what was it? Oh yeah, you have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, same as in real life. Then, and that's a match. Usually be 8 matches, but this one will be kind of a squash match, so it'd be like 3-4 minutes long. Miz and Kit on last minute, basically they have a John Cena segment. Miz and Kit basically are tired based on the lack of respect they get. So Dan Allison comes in with his mystery partner, Royce Keys. And you have Royce Keys dominate and pin Kit Wilson. I want to protect a bit Miz because I think he's taking way too many pins. You have Kit Wilson getting pinned by Royce Keys in like a 4 or 5 minute matches. And you have, like in real life, for the world title, the main event of night 2, CM Punk defending against Roman Reigns. And I would have Roman Reigns win, but with the certitude that he keeps the title up until maximum SummerSlam. Then he loses SummerSlam to Oba Finn. So that's how I would have booked WrestleMania 42. And for that, it comes down, basically, I know it comes to an end with rebooking WrestleManias in 2 nights. But I still have one video left on that series. That'd be not rebooking, but pre-booking WrestleMania 43 into pre-booking WrestleMania 43 into 2 nights my way. So once again, in advance, I thank you all for listening to me on this one, but I still have one more video, and I wanted to ask you in the comments, would you like if I started rebooking SummerSlams? And I will make sure that it aligns with my WrestleMania bookings, but if I rebook SummerSlam, it wouldn't be 2 nights. I would just make sure that every SummerSlam is 4 hours long. So let me know what you think in the comments down below if you'd like to see that, because I'm very interested into doing this because it'd be a kind of challenge to do so. So let me know if you think it'd be a great idea for me to rebook SummerSlam as well, starting with SummerSlam 1988. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And shout outs to Chris Ludek, Wrestling Soup, Labs Fan, Deadlock, Solo Monster. And if you want to, in terms of entertainment, I would say also for Pitch Meeting. So let me know what you think down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.